Cream shadow can look patchy and creasy, or it can be used to create incredibly easy and super flattering eye makeup looks. Today, I'm going to show you a few different ways to apply and get the longest wear time out of your cream eyeshadows. Let's get started. The first look I want to show you is called the One and Done, and it is the easiest thing ever to execute. But before we get into it, we need to talk a little bit about eyelid prep. It is very important when working with cream shadows that you have a barrier between the cream shadow itself and your actual skin. If you don't create a barrier, as the day goes on and your natural oils come through on the lid, these oils will mix with the cream shadow, which is an emollient product, and it will break it down and cause the shadow to crease in those high movement zones, which in this case is the actual eyelid crease, right? So if you've had this happen before, that's most likely the reason why. So in order to prevent it from doing that, all you have to do is apply an eyelid primer from the lash line to the brow bone and set it lightly with a powder. I'll be leaving a detailed list of every product that I use in the description box below in case you're curious, because I don't want to spend too much time today talking about individual products in this video, okay? So if you want to know an individual product, an individual brush, definitely check the description box. It's going to be there, I promise. All right, now that we have done that, let's get into our first look. So for this look, I am using the RMS Eyelights in the color Supernova. The first thing you want to do is apply your cream shadow to your finger and pat it directly on the eyelid. Okay, this is the easiest way to work with cream shadows. Use your finger. It's going to give you the best color payoff. It's also just going to look the best, okay? Finger is the tool you need for cream shadow. After you have that shadow on the lid, you've concentrated the color in the center of the lid with your finger. You then need to blend out any harsh lines. And the easiest way to do that is by taking a fluffy crease brush and going back and forth in windshield wiper motions where the crease meets the lid. That's going to soften out the line pretty much instantly. Immediately, that harsh line in the crease is going to be blurred and softened out. Then you can go ahead and apply lots of mascara. After applying mascara, I like curling my lashes with a heated curler. That's the way I get kind of the best lift on my lashes. And then I coat my bottom lashes with mascara as well, and I am done. As promised, this look is really simple. Okay, it just adds a little illumination to the top lid. One and done. Now, if you want to take this up a notch, you can also shade under the eyes with the same cream shadow. I find that the easiest way to do this is by using a pencil brush, because a pencil brush has kind of that perfect shape and the perfect density for that lower lash line area. So what I do is I actually apply my cream shadow directly to my pencil brush, and then I go back and forth shading until I get it to my desired diffusion level. Depending on how smoky I'm going, I'll shade more or less, depending on how intense I want that bottom line to be. You can see here that the final result is still really soft and daytime appropriate. It's just a little more defined when you add the cream shadow to the bottom lashes as well as to the top lashes. Now, if you want to go one step further, if you're a part of the glam fam, which I know you are, you can also tightline. So I'm using a very dark brown Kajal pencil because that's the type of liner. The Kajal liners are very creamy in texture, and that creamy texture makes it easy to blend and to stretch. So after I apply it to my waterline, I take this tiny little flat brush by Rephr, I grab the liner from the waterline, and I stretch the line outwards to elongate the eye. If you find that the outside of the eye starts looking messy after you do this, you can easily clean it up with some concealer and a concealer brush. As a final step, I also love adding a tiny bit of bronzer just to warm up the crease and blend everything out even more seamlessly. Okay, this is how it looks after it's all done. Now, of course, if you are the type and if you want, you can always add some lashes. I wanted to show you how this would look with the additional lashes. So I just popped some on really quickly to just densify that lash line. If you have naturally thin lashes like me, my lashes are quite thin. Adding even half a lash can definitely help to give that quick pop of drama to the eyes and to just give even more definition to the eyes, bring more attention over to them. I think the final look is so pretty, and it's still really soft, even with the lashes. Another way that you can use your cream eyeshadow is actually as a soft liner. Okay, so you're just gonna want to prep and set your lids just like you did before, and then you're gonna take your pencil brush and you're gonna dip it into your cream shadow of choice. Today I'm using the Merit Solo Shadow in the color Viper. You're gonna wanna take that pencil brush and you're gonna wanna run it along your lash line to build up that line. When you get to the inner part of the eye, you wanna keep the line as tight and as skinny as you possibly can in this zone of the eye. So instead of shading on top of the lid like this, you're actually going to want to work underneath this way, okay? You're gonna tilt your brush so that you're shading the under parts of the lash line. That's gonna keep it nice and tight to the lash line and nice and skinny. Now, I personally like to have a wing. So at the outer parts of the lash line, I always go ahead and I stretch it out. Again, if you wanna clean anything up on the outer parts of the eye, you can easily do that with some concealer and a concealer brush. After that, you can add loads of mascara to the top and bottom, curl your lashes, and voila. Again, so simple, so quick, but really, really pretty. Next, I'll show you the effects of adding lashes to this look. So here I use the Kiss lashes in the style Nude Blazer. It's a really nice natural style. I added them to the outer half of the eye and I ended up with this result. So this really is one of my favorite ways to wear eye makeup. I think it's just so simple but so flattering, and adding a half lash to this look just takes it up a notch. So it takes that really simple look and dramatizes it, but still in a way that's very wearable and comfortable. Do you guys like this one? Let me know in the comments if you love it as much as I do. Finally, the last look that I want to show you is probably my most frequently worn cream shadow look, and I like to call it the Daytime Smokey, and it's what I have on my eyes right now. So after prepping the lids, I start by actually carving out my crease with a bronzer first. Okay, I use a bronzer and a fluffy crease brush. I carve out my crease first. I'm creating a shadow there, and I actually like to take it out into my temples to elongate the eyes. Okay, I then shade out the bottom lash line with that same bronzer color. After I have that kind of shadow foundation done, I like doing the shadow foundation first. I then go in with my cream eyeshadow and my finger and I stipple it as kind of like a highlight. Okay, I do that directly on the eyelid and then I blend it out into the crease again with that same fluffy crease brush. I also take that same cream shadow with a pencil brush and I drag it under the eyes on top of the bronzer. The bronzer acts as a transition or as a foundation to blend the cream on top of. And I really think that's kind of the best way to get it to sit perfectly throughout the day. Now to define the lash line, I like to go in with a dark brown Kajal pencil again. I smudge it in and then I blend and smoke it out with a brush. Whatever is left over on that pencil brush, I then blend into the bottom lash line. Then of course, lots of mascara on the top and bottom. I curl as much as possible and we are done. Depending on the depth of the cream eyeshadow color you choose here, this look can go from very soft and daytime appropriate to very smoky. And I think that's why I enjoy executing this look so much. It changes a lot depending on the color families you play with, but it's very fast and easy to do. It's the easiest way to get a smoky eye. You know, if you replace this kind of golden cream shadow for something richer and deeper, bam, you have a smoky eye in seconds. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section below what you want to learn how to do next. This video's over.